I want to explain magic to you. So, magic, there's higher level magic where you could fly, where you could do all these things in the dream realm. The dream realms are lower, higher, there's many different things. We live in the dream realm. This existence right here is another dimension that we exist in, as well as many other dimensions out there. So, automatically, like all the trees and everything on this planet and all the life that's existing and all the adaptations are all forms of magic. But the lower level magic, so the lower level magic is what I'm trying to say is that it's inhibited to where they want you distracted so you can't develop your sort of mind the way you want it to be because you're always busy working, you a work slave, distracted, you know, come home to your family, take care of your family's needs and stuff like that. So you're not always developing your traits or abilities. You know, the abilities of are not on the forefront of humanity. This dimension doesn't uphold magic. It actually criticized magic in this dimension. Like a long time ago, like 2,000 years ago and stuff like this, when there's witches, they're burned at the stake. So for their witchcraft and stuff like this. Now, you know what I mean? There's things of that before there was diseases and stuff like that. All these are sort of like things that we should be immune to and, you know, have a good immune system to fight these diseases and everything. And even if we get sick, we can eventually live through it and get through that. So that's testament to our body's ability to heal itself and to fight off infections and all this other stuff. So it's all scientifically like the way that we creation is the way that creation is that there's always like some level of magic to it, like how we develop our hands, you know, in our DNA, and it forms our hands and stuff like that. DNA is pretty much like magic. If all our DNA was online, we had full capability, we could do magical powers. Just this dimension is targeted to be a lower dimension where they're going to have you work like a work slave and be slaves in this planet. And the demons are going to try to feed off the light as much as possible. So there's times where you're really up high, uh, consciously, you're doing really good. Everything's flowing in the day. Things are working out magically, you know, having a real good day. But then sometimes you have bad days, you know, and these bad days are days where you're getting spiritually attacked, where there's battles going on and the battles neutralize the magic to where the magic is null and void. It cancels each other out. See, fighting with angels and demons cancels out the magic because they're using magic to try to get at them. You're both wearing out your energy just to defend yourself. Now, there's to defend yourself, the magic is there to utilize, but you're not going to see the magic. Like if you're uninhibited by any forces trying to dull you down or inhibit you or do things like that, you're going to be elevated to experience your magic on higher levels. It's just that lower level magic, you know, it it ties with like demonic forces and entities, and they try to like dumb down like humanity with many different tactics in the physical and in the ethereal, the ghost form. So humanity does things like pass bills or whatever is put in foods, whatever pesticides are put on foods and stuff like this, and that's not good for us. And then we're more dumbed down. But if we weren't that dumbed down and we're having all the nutrients of everything for our DNA to be fully online, we would be like we are in the other dimensions, flying around in the dream realm. Other dimensions, I can do this. I can fly in the other dimensions. I can do magic in the other dimensions, like serious level magic. When you're out of body, when you go in ghost form, when your soul goes out of your body and you're going ghost form, and you remember the characteristics. I remember going out of body when I was in Kentucky, and I was warding off my body like this, doing wards and going like this, like with whatever, with my ethereal ghost hands. And I was above my body in my ghost form, warding off from any negative demonic energy. Because when I was in Kentucky, there was two wolves. I thought they were like demon wolves, like the demon dogs, the ones with the red eyes, and they were black wolf type creatures. Well, there's two wolves growling at me. One runs straight in front of me and one to my side, and I couldn't see them yet. I climbed up a tree, waited there for about an hour, and then eventually they moved on. The wolves moved on, and never, came at me. But I was in Boonesboro. That place in the woods there's probably a lot of animals and, creatures out there. But what I'm trying to say is that there was a pack of wolves out there, and literally I was way out in the woods, and good thing I climbed up to that tree, otherwise the wolves could have got me. And I was thinking they're like demon dogs at first, because maybe they were invisible. Who knows? If they were invisible demon dogs, you know what I mean? Like on Supernatural, like they're invisible to the naked eye. Only if you put on spells and stuff like that, you could be able to see the dogs or whatever, to be able to, do something about it. But the thing is that I don't know. That could have been normal wolves, but it could have been the demon dog too. Because I've seen a Wendigo creature before. That's real in reality. Wendigos, shadow beings, are real. They're different entities from different dimensions that come into this dimension. They literally manifest themselves in this dimension too. Because remember, nothing's really truly separated through the dimensional fields of reality that exists. So your higher self, your higher ghost form of your soul, can have so many attributes to gift yourself with, to utilize. So, like myself and stuff, with my knowledge and all my characteristics, my abilities, my voice, and my singing is like on a supernatural level. Well, that's because I got gifted through the dimensions into this dimension through other like characteristics of my soul come through this dimension, and now I can do the work playing my songs and getting high level frequency of the supernatural to bring that to this dimension through my music. And this came from the dream realm. One day I had a dream that I could do light language. Then after that, I could instantaneously do light language here on this dimension, this earth. You know what I mean? So, Iska bin von pun von fodare, Iska bin von pun von Torres. That's just one version. But there's many different dialects. Like, there's many different dialects. There's that jungly one. And this is different aspects and variations. Right now I'm not warmed up, so I can't really get precise on them aspects, the way that they need to sound perfectly angelically. But I'm just making examples of this so I can tell you in my, podcast about this, stuff. So there's spiritual battle on this dimension. If it was liberated and things were a lot lighter, like heaven on earth in this dimension, we wouldn't limit our abilities and stuff. I had telepathy one time. I was riding in a carpet job with my dad, and then we're on our way back from a carpet job, and I was in the passenger seat. And my dad said in his head, he didn't say this out loud, the sooner I die, the sooner I, and it just cut out. That's all I heard, my dad's voice in my head. I'm like, Dad, did you just say the sooner I die, the sooner I, and it just cut out, and that's all I heard. He goes, he pulls over the vehicle and says, how the hell did you know that? And quite literally, I read his mind. And these are real things that are possible on certain levels. And it doesn't happen a lot in this dimension, but in other dimensions, it happens really frequently. And there's heightened abilities in other dimensions. I had various experiences with my dream realm experiences that I'm going to get closer in this dimension to the heightened magic that's real in these other dimensions and tap into that frequency. And even if I get spiritually attacked and they don't want me to get on that high level, and try to limit me, I still have to persevere and get to that level regardless. And without any trials, you won't grow stronger. So I'm going to have a lot of trials and tribulation, but I'm going to grow strong as a result of it. Like in my meditations, I'm having this peace of mind that is tranquil. And I tap into the birds and the land and everything. And it's so mind expanding. It's just like unreal. But yeah, I, Cody Kamarath, love, worship, honor, and obey the divine princesses, the divine goddesses, and the girls. Amen. I love you, girls, forever. Amen. So yeah, just understand that I could explain a lot more about magic, but it's really hard for me to explain everything that there is to know because everybody has individual traits, individual soul, individual magic, there's so much variations of magic that it goes through every individual facet of any individual and their soul expression of the magic that's real. Even talking is a form of magic. Like the voice is powerful. You know what I mean? And can have a lot of experiences with that. But anyway, I'll have to stop the podcast. But girls, I love you and take care. I'm doing this for you. I'm quitting weed because I need to. I finally need to. And I'm eventually going to quit coffee too. But weed first. Quit weed first. Then after 4 days of quitting weed, I'll quit coffee. And then everything will slowly get back to normal where I'll have enough dopamine in my brain to utilize whenever I want. And I won't be depleted with these other substances that get you high in the moment, but then wear out your dopamine later. And then you're not going to be able to get through your whole day because, you're wearing it out. And otherwise, I want a balance of dopamine throughout my whole entire day so I can have the whole experience of the day perfectly the way I'd want it. You know what I mean? But anyway, have a good day, everybody. All right, bye.